So a couple days ago, IGN shared with us new footage of Sonic Frontiers. So let's take a look at it. So it's IGN First.
Hey, what's up everyone? This is Mitchell Saltzman here with our very last feature for IGN First, featuring Sonic Frontiers. And this one's going to be a little looser, a little more casual. I played 4 hours of Sonic Frontiers at this point, and
so somebody else
all
talking.
the embargoes are up, and I'm able to talk about everything unrestricted. I wanted to answer some questions based on the 4 hours I played. So let's hit that title card, and we'll jump right into it.
Probably the last video I do on this game for a while. Not forever, but just for a while.
Before we start proper though, I've got to give a bit of a fair warning. It's been more than a month since I had my last play session with Sonic Frontiers. I last played it in the middle of May, if you can believe it. So it's going off of what is no doubt an older build, but I'm also going off of memories that are a little bit dated. So, you know, just understand that things could change and my memory of smaller details might not be 100%. So, you know, just keep that in mind. Alright, so let's begin with probably the most commonly asked questions.
Cyberspace? Oh yeah.
Group a bunch of these together.
Saw that during the Nintendo Direct
Cyberspace.
mini partner showcase as well.
Talk about this generally first before addressing specific questions about Cyberspace. I got to play 4 levels.
Nice.
You see 2 of them in that Nintendo Direct trailer. One of them is modeled after Green Hill Zone, and that's actually the very first thing.
The other one from Sonic Forces? It looks...
Jump into Sonic Frontiers. There's an opening cutscene, and then you get thrown into Cyberworld, and you do that Green Hill Zone, basically.
Oh.
The second one is the Highway Zone that you see.
What's with the...
Probably like my favorite one that I got to play. That one was just awesome. There was
what language is that?
Chemical Plant Zone, and then there was one
it wasn't
that
Japanese.
was kind of like a sky temple. I don't
Wait, hold on. Sorry, I gotta go back.
Favorite one that...
I don't know what language that is. It's not Arabic, is it? I don't think it would be Arabic, but who knows? Alright, whatever.
I got to play. That one was...
It just does not look like Japanese to me. I mean, it could be, but no, I don't know. Unless, yeah, if it was Japanese, it'd be like really, really fancy writing. But I don't know. Alright, whatever.
Awesome. There was one that was modeled after Chemical Plant Zone, and then there was one that was kind of like a sky temple. I don't really remember if it was based off of any prior Sonic games. It might have, but it's been a little while since I played some of the older 3D Sonic games. So to answer the question from Flame Kit Fox about the length of Cyberspace levels,
or Kit
to me they felt a bit short, and I say that because I believe I beat most, if not all of them, within 2 minutes, even on like my first try. And usually these 3D Sonic levels, they focus on different beats. You go from a really fast boost section to a 2D section, and then back to a 3D section, whereas the levels in Sonic Frontiers felt pretty focused on 1 or 2 things. You would start off, it would be a boost focused section, then you'd go onto a rail, and then you'd go onto like a little platforming bit until you're back into a boost section, and then you get to the end of the level. So they felt shorter, but I don't really mean that in a negative way. I think they were actually just long enough where I wanted to keep on retrying them so I can get those goals. I mentioned this also in my preview. Every level has 5 goals, and every time you achieve a goal, you get a vault key, which allows you to unlock the Chaos Emeralds. So I played 4 hours of Sonic Frontiers.
Now, I actually made a mistake when I was streaming Sonic CD, which you can catch that on my second YouTube channel, from Sonic Origins. That's a link in the description to that channel. I actually called them Chaos Emeralds, but they're actually not Chaos Emeralds. They're Time Stones in that game. Just a little side note.
Most of that time was kind of spent in Cyberspace because I'm the kind of person when I play a Sonic game where I wanna strive for those S ranks. I wanna strive for getting those goals. So I would keep on retrying until I get the level down pat. To me, that's the most fun I have when I play a Sonic game. It's that feeling of mastering a level and getting through it without slowing down. So I really strove to kind of get that experience every time I played one of these cyberspace levels. So for me, I actually kind of like the shorter length, especially when consider the fact that it's not the full game. The cyberspace is not the whole game. It is this mix of the open zone exploration and everything that you can do there, along with these cyberspace levels. So yeah, in short, the levels are short, but I also don't think it's a huge problem. And then as for the second part of this question, are they closer to those of Unleashed, Generations, or Forces? You know, I guess it's more similar to Unleashed and Generations because of the fact that there's no wisps. There's no wisps. Wisps is still a very hard word for me to say.
Wisps.
It's just kind of purely focused on that modern boost focus.
Get rid of the wisp.
Sonic experience. As for the 2D sections, actually,
I thought this game had
I
wisps.
didn't get to
Okay,
play
whatever.
It, but my colleague Jeffrey Vega, who played about 2 hours of the game, he went a different way in the open zone and ended up finding a cyberspace level that I didn't find. And he said that it was entirely 2D focused. So I think they're gonna mix it up a good amount with the cyberspace levels in this game. Another thing that a lot of people really wanted to know about is momentum, and I feel a little bad about this one because I honestly didn't really think about it. Sonic's control felt fine to me. At the very least, it wasn't noticeably different from other boost-centric Sonic games, especially in the cyberspace levels. It's true that it doesn't really matter what speed Sonic hits a rail at, he'll still grind it all the same, but I also don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. Now, there were definitely some weird moments, like I mentioned in the preview, where I was fighting the Asura boss, and I would run up the arm, and despite feeling like I should have enough momentum to reach the head, I would kind of just fly upwards and not have enough forward momentum to lock onto the head, and I would just kind of, fall back down to the ground. But to me, that felt more like an issue with the boss itself rather than an overall problem with momentum. So yeah, I wish I had a better answer for you than, the momentum didn't really bother me all that much.
Reminds me of those snake worms, like in
similar to
Shadow the Hedgehog and
3D
Sonic
boost-centric
Unleashed.
Sonic games, but that's kind
And they were
of
even in
at
Sonic
with
06.
momentum right now. Those were the two big ones that kept coming up.
Technically, Crisis City was in Sonic Generations, so they were in that game too.
Questions. Lone Speedster DX asked, how does the combat work in Frontiers? The starting combo seems to be that punch and kick string, but how do any of the special attacks work? So the way it works is that when you homing attack onto something, you'll do the little punch kick combo, and then on the last hit, you'll kind of kick yourself away and you'll come back down to the ground. There are a couple of upgrades that you can get in the skill tree that add some sort of new attack to the end of that string. So that's where you see like this move and then this move. I think, and this is one of those things where don't quote me on this because again, I played this a month and a half ago, but I think that there is a combo counter. I think you get rewarded with like a certain kind of power-up mode if you do a bunch of hits without getting hit. So there is a reward for being careful.
Nice.
With regards to knowing when to lay off your attack and when the opponent is about to strike back. You can use a dodge to get out of the way. Dodges are on the L1 and R1 buttons, so you can just quickly get out of the way if something's about to attack you. You can use parries, you can lock on. Another one of the abilities that you can get is that kick attack. You can see right here where you kick a bunch of sound waves and it looks really awesome. That's generally how combat works. It's not, this isn't Devil May Cry. I think the real test for the combat of this game will be enemy variety. There were a handful of enemies that all were a bit different, and I had to fight them a little bit differently in order to defeat them. But it's really going to be a matter of if they can keep on introducing.
So I assume he's playing this on the PlayStation controller.
Deal with them, and I think that's going to be the real test of whether combat is going to be exciting in the open world. Open zone. What does collecting those little rock guys do? Asked Vincent_mate. So collecting those little rock guys, it's kind of like Korok seeds in Breath of the Wild, where like you solve a really simple puzzle, you find a Korok seed. You do kind of the same thing in Sonic Frontiers. And what they do is that somewhere on the island is like this elder rock guy, and if you get enough little rock guys, I wish I could remember the name for them right now. I'm sorry, again, a month and a half ago.
Hold on.
It looks really awesome.
Sorry.
That's generally how combat works.
I had to go back and look at this.
This isn't Devil May Cry. A handful of enemies that all were a bit different, and I had to fight them a little bit differently in order to defeat them. but it's really going to be a matter of if they can keep on introducing new enemy types that keep having new and interesting.
Are those
ways
the
to
blue
deal
things
with
he's
them.
calling rocks?
And I think
No.
that's going to be the real test of whether combat is going to be exciting in the open world. I mean, excuse me, open zone. What does collecting those little rock guys do? Asked.
I guess it's
Vincent
those blue
_
things.
Mate. So collecting those little rock guys, it's kind of like Korok seeds in Breath of the Wild, where like you solve a really simple puzzle, you find a Korok seed, you do kind of the same thing in Sonic Frontiers. And what they do is that somewhere on the island is like this elder rock guy, and if you get enough little rock guys, I wish I could remember the name for them right now.
Like
I'm
orbs?
sorry, again, a month and a half ago. If you get enough of those little rock guys and you bring them back to the elder, he will either upgrade your speed or upgrade your maximum rings that you can carry. And you may be like, well, I understand, why I would want to upgrade my speed, obviously, but why would I want to upgrade my maximum rings? When you get hit in Sonic Frontiers, you don't just drop all your rings. You drop 40 rings. It's a set amount every time. And if you're able to collect 400 rings, I believe the cutoff is 400 rings, you're able to activate this like super blue boost that envelops Sonic in like this awesome blue aura. He's able to go even faster on his boosts, and he goes extremely fast. If you thought that Sonic Frontiers isn't fast enough, just trust me, it's once you get this blue boost, he moves plenty fast. And I wish I had footage of it because it was one of the cooler things that I got to experience in my playtime. Sonic Rich says, in your first 4 hours playing Frontiers, were you given the freedom to explore
Review
the
Tech
first
USA.
Starfall
No,
Island
that's
from
not
the
him.
get-go,
I promise.
or were there points where you strictly had to follow the story path? No, you're pretty much able to go wherever you want when you first land on Starfall Island. Obviously, there is a main quest that you are constantly reminded of, but you're able to just go off in a direction. There's a bunch of puzzles to solve to open up your map. The map will tell you where Chaos Emeralds are. You'll be able to find more puzzles to open up more of the map. So there's actually a lot to do in the open zone. There's a bunch of collectibles to find, the aforementioned rock guys that you can grab. It doesn't really funnel you towards a certain path. You're kind of free to take on that critical path whenever you want. Alright, lightning round time. Let's do a bunch of them really quick. Was there any form of spin dash or rolling, albeit in his base moveset or the skill tree? No, but there is a drop dash. Was the light speed dash present at all? Yes. Is there a Chow Garden or at least Chow in the game? I can't speak for the whole game, but in the 4 hours that I played, not a single Chow was seen. From what I played, how was the music? It was good. One of the first things that me and Jeffrey talked about when we got out of our demo was how much we enjoyed the music. So it's not...
Imagine
it's
like
not
if they added like a
but it's
big
very
Chow
fitting,
Garden.
And, it sounds nice in my ears. Alright, well, that is going to do it for me.
Oh, I
and that
don't...
is gonna do
Have we
it
seen
for
this part
our
before?
IGN First of the
Maybe.
month of June for Sonic
Yeah, I think we
Frontiers.
have.
Thank you all
It
so
looked
much
a
for
little different.
watching. Of course, if you missed
First.
any of our coverage, we've got a full hands-on preview. We've got an interview with director Kishimoto-san, an interview with Izuka-san, the head of Sonic Team, and over on IGN.com, we have a written interview with Ian Flynn, the writer of Sonic Frontiers. Thanks again for watching, and for everything else, keep it here on IGN.
I don't think we're really going to get much more news on Sonic Frontiers, unless Sega themselves or Sonic Team comes out and says something. But not at least until Gamescom or TGS. It is supposed to come out this year, which I've been covering even on WordPress. I've been saying it's coming out this year, but for some reason the other day I was under the impression that they moved it back to next year, which that was actually incorrect. Currently, there are no plans to delay the game. Now, it's possible it could get delayed till next year, but currently it's on track to release later this year. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think of Sonic Frontiers. Without further ado, I will see you guys later.